Hi everybody, my name is Anne and I'm an addict. I can honestly say that that was the longest 15 minutes I've ever endured. I'm really grateful to be here tonight. I'd like to thank the committee of the convention for this wonderful thing that they've put together and for giving me the opportunity to share here tonight. Just for today, for 9 years, I have not used any mind or mood altering drugs. And I'm a person who loves numbers. So when the convention dates came out and I realized that I was 9 on 9, I knew I had to do service. And I asked if I could do some service. And I was hoping to do tea or coffee or, collect the money, something that I'm familiar with. But this is what I have. So step one. I admitted that I was powerless over my addiction and that my life had become unmanageable. It wasn't something that I did once. I first got clean in 1997. I admitted that I was powerless. I knew my life was fucked, and I asked for help. One thing that I did learn, I went to 3 meetings in Observatory in the Western Cape, and there were 9 people, of 8 were men. And all 8 men had different drugs of choice to myself, and I didn't think that I belonged. And I looked at the differences instead of the similarities. I, however, did stay clean, dry drunk for 6 years, just abstaining. The pain was still there, but I just used my addiction by working. I had 3 jobs, I was studying, anything to run away from myself. I realized that my addiction had nothing to do with the drugs or the alcohol or the people or the food or anything else. My addiction sits with me here. And so no matter where I run to, no matter where I run from, it's with me wherever I go. And it took me a while to understand that. So I was very clever and wrote some notes in pencil, which I can't read up here. So, so as I say, 9 years ago, I came to my knees. I had been in and out of the rooms. I had struggled to understand what surrender meant. I was willing to give up the drugs, I was willing to give up the alcohol, but my marriage was a no-go zone. And I believed that I married till death do us part, and that's what I was going to do. And NA suggested strongly to me that that wasn't what I should do. My dearly beloved friend Les May, who's sitting over there, suggested to me that I needed to do all of the suggestions. And I did. I went to my little meeting. It was a morning meeting, very small, compact meeting, and I admitted that I was powerless and that I couldn't do recovery Anne's way. There's an NA way, and if I follow all of those suggestions, I was assured that I would be able to stay clean. I started to believe that I was one of those people that was just not able of telling the truth. And step 1 is all about honesty. And when I honestly admitted, my life really is a mess. I was, how old am I now? I was in my 40s. I was financially fucked. This time around, I hadn't lost my home and I hadn't lost my children, but I'd had those rock bottoms before. This rock bottom was a different one for me because I realized what I could have in NA. In the times that I did come and I managed to stay clean, I found peace, I found connection, and I found a purpose. And I truly believed every time that I had done a thorough step 1. But in the step 1 question book of the Green and Gold, there's a question that says, Do you have any reservations? And what are they? As I said, I was a little girl, got married very young, was madly in love, went against my parents' suggestions. I mean, they knew that he wasn't the right person for me. I don't know how. But I'm a very stubborn person. I have Glaswegian blood flowing through these veins. And I will do it my way at all costs. Sometimes being stubborn is helpful in life, but not when you keep hitting your head into the same wall. So my addiction for the first time wasn't to drugs or to alcohol. It was into a person, and that person made me feel different. That person made me feel sexy, wanted, something special, needed. I clung onto that needed thing. And unfortunately, I still do that. I stick around with people that tell me that they need me, be it colleagues, be it bosses. That's just one of my character defects, you know. I don't have to hate myself for doing that. I don't have to judge myself harshly for the things that I did to where I got, because all I know is that I have a disease. It's the disease of addiction. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a sadist. I'm not stupid. I'm just an addict. And when I could honestly admit that I was an addict like so many other people, and I kept coming back to NA, and I kept on seeing the same people at this little home group of mine, and they didn't judge me. And just over 9 years ago, well, it wasn't quite 9 years, I celebrate my 9 years for the day that I finally went and got a restraining order and broke away from the marriage that wasn't right for me. And it's taken me quite a couple of years to realize that it wasn't my ex-husband's fault that I'm an addict. It wasn't my ex-husband's fault that our marriage didn't work. Everybody has a part. And my sponsor's favorite thing when I'm bitching about my bosses are doers, or my sons are driving me mad, or my husband just doesn't argue back, just, you know, sometimes a woman needs somebody to argue back. And I'm really blessed with a wonderful husband, a second husband who works a program and is completely different to me. And I couldn't have asked for anything better. But I'm Anne, and I do find fault with everything. And I also judge everything harshly. And I've lost my train of thought. So keep coming back is what they told me at the meetings that I went to, and that's what I did. And when I came back this time, I made a contract with myself that I was going to get it, and I was going to do whatever it suggested. I did everything in my power to carry on using drugs. I stole, I lied, I put myself in very unsafe places. And if I could do 1/10 of that in order to stay clean, it seemed like that could be quite worth it. And I did. And I followed the suggestions. You know, they said do 90 meetings in 90 days. I did that. I did it more than for 90 days because I had no life. You know, some people say NA gave them their life back. I really didn't have a life, I existed. I was a skeleton of a woman that was afraid of my own shadow. And I didn't have anything to offer. And over the time that I've been here, I was taught how to take responsibility, stand up for what I believe in, and to do the next right thing. And I did service. And service taught me how to be punctual, and how to be accountable, and how to do it properly. Then my sponsor got a great bee in her bonnet and decided, you're terrified of money. Let's do treasury. I was like, no, let's not do that. And I did. And I did treasury for 5 years in various forms in the service. And it took me to places that I didn't think I'd ever go to. And I'm not afraid of money. I don't see myself as a fraudster. I don't see myself as a thief. I'm a recovering addict. and I do what I need to do to stay clean. You know, when I do step one, and I admit honestly that I'm powerless, it's a relief, you know. I'm powerless over how my sons behave. I'm powerless over the relationship between my new husband and my adult children, who it was very difficult for them. I didn't help matters by slandering their father and calling him a piece of shit for many, many years. You know, I've only been able to forgive him in the last 2 or 3 years. And that healing for me, I can't place, you know, I can't put a value on that for me, because it's just made me more of a whole person. You know, to be able to forgive. I believe my ex-husband is an addict, and I believe that one day he might be able to come to a meeting. And years ago, I said if he ever came to a meeting, I'd fucking get up and leave. But things have changed. I won't get up and leave. I'll welcome him, but I won't have that be my same home group anymore, you know. It's a very special convention for me tonight, not only to be sharing my special 9. I've never been 9 before. And that's nice. My son's here attending his first convention, and that's another story. Welcome, and keep coming back, because if I can stay clean and I can turn my life around, anybody can. Unless people shoot you. I'm eternally grateful to this fellowship, to the friends that I've made here, and I'm really proud of the woman that I've become. That song, the song says it all for me. You know, this is me, and I'm an addict. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Anne. Our next speaker, our next sharer, Peter from KZN, is going to share on step 2.
Hello, everybody. This is probably the most terrifying moment of my life. My name is Peter, and I'm an addict. You know, when I filled in the form...